Hey, welcome. This is It Came From GenX. It is a beautiful day in the month of May. I'm Keith
Yes, it is.
Porter, a.k.a. Porterhouse, along with my man, Brian Fisher, a.k.a. The Fishbone. What's up, my brother?
Hey, man. Great weekend. I was able to officiate a wedding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Preside's good.
Preside over a
That's a
wedding.
big boy
Absolutely.
word. You can use that. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
How about that? So, as you have before, Keith,
Yes, sir.
several times. So, so very good friend of mine, one of my oldest friends that you know as well, of course,
Oh,
Jim
absolutely.
Cunningham.
That's my guy. Yeah.
Absolutely. And his beautiful wife now, Tina.
That's awesome.
Did me the honor of asking me to officiate their wedding some time ago. So we prepped, and we got the ceremony was held in a lovely historic church in the area, and actually it went
I heard
fairly
it was
well.
beautiful. The
Yeah.
report I got, there were tears, dude. They
Yes.
said you did an excellent job. I couldn't be prouder of you. I hate I missed it. My question is this: what's Skinner's problem? I mean, we're towing the line here, dude, with the weddings.
That's right.
What a slacker! We're gonna have to talk to him, man. He can't come back till he does a wedding.
Yeah.
Well,
I like
we'll let
that
him back, but he's not officially in the club till he does a wedding. So
I like that idea. So
yeah,
we'll
I think
give
that's good.
his until he gets his credentials and
Right.
performs a wedding, he
And
is
he's
not
official.
he is not permitted to talk about any Nick Cage movie reviews.
I think
How
that's
about
fair.
that?
That's only fair. That's
I
only
like it.
fair. Yeah, that's fair. All right. So yeah, we're ragging on the skin bone who is away on a much needed and deserved vacation.
Yes,
Him
looks
and his
lovely.
family. They sent pictures out there on the boat fishing, having a blast in the water.
Mm-hmm.
I hate them. No, just kidding. But no, look, they're having a great time. His lovely wife Marcy saw a croc today. I would like to see that. That might have been worth the price of admission. So we wish Skinner and his family an awesome time, and they certainly deserve it. They've been through so much, as we all have. I had a great weekend myself. Got to get away for the first time in years. I don't think I've been anywhere since I went to Atlanta, maybe 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was great. It was a short little trip, just a few days down in Kentucky with the Diamond Phillips Band. Wrote the last song for the CD, best song we ever wrote. Had a great time. Yeah, very excited about it. Got a very, very powerful 6,000 watt PA system for outdoor live shows. We own it. Don't have to rent it. And really excited about that. So it was a good getaway. Of course, came home and a tough day being Mother's Day yesterday.
Yes.
Having recently lost my mom, but got some rest, and I am raring to go today. So,
all right.
Yeah, lots to talk about. But before we get started, I've got to just. This is not an endorsement. This is not a sponsor. This is just me telling you how it is. One of the first places I couldn't wait to get back today was my chiropractor, Fish.
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself an unofficial expert on chiropractors because I've had 4 or 5 in 2 years. So I kind of know what's a good one and what's a bad one. But I was truly blessed about, 8 months ago when I stumbled on a site on Facebook and was contacted by Star Chiropractic and Wellness in Cuyahoga Falls.
Okay.
And I tell you what, when I went there, I was skeptical because of my past experience, but I said, what the heck, I'll give this one more try. I was blown away by the place was brand spanking new. The equipment was top of the line, cutting edge. And I met 2 of the most wonderful people I've met in my life. They've been life changers in my life. Dr. Pat Fance and his wonderful, lovely wife, Dow, who runs the office, and they changed my life. My mom loved them before her passing. She just couldn't wait to go there. And I got to tell you what, when you go there, you will know you are in a family-oriented place. You will know that they care about you. This guy, for somebody so young, I cannot believe the knowledge that he has of the human body, the understanding that he has. We have the best conversations. I learn something every time I go there. We talk about football. It's just one of the best parts of my week going there. And I just told them today, I got to let people know about this place. But it's Star Chiropractic and Wellness, located at 209 Portage Trail, Extension West. That's Suite 101 in Cuyahoga Falls. Go there, check them out. They work with most insurances. You will be like, man, this is an experience. This isn't a doctor's visit. This is an experience. I was standing there today. They had a new customer, our new client, and she was going off how wonderful they were. I said, lady, you don't know the half of it. You're new. I've been coming here for months, and I just wanted to let everybody know where I go because I think it's important to get a good one. Like I said, I'm not doing this for an endorsement, but I know what a bad chiropractor can do. And I was paying people to go in there. They cracked my back and said, see you next week, and did nothing for me. So check out Star Chiropractic and Wellness, 209 Portage Trail, Extension West. That's in Cuyahoga Falls, Suite 101. Had to put that out there. Thank you, brother.
Sure.
Tell them where they can find the show.
All right. You might be listening to us at Star Chiropractor in the waiting area, perhaps. I don't know.
You might be.
Yeah. Or you might be listening to us on WMVU.org, Global Internet Radio, Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Just pull up their site, play live now, and you can listen to us right there, along with their other fine content. They have other shows and terrific music catalog, etc., all for free. You can listen to us whenever you want to on demand. We're on many major podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Verbal, Stitcher, a lot of things out there. So give us a subscribe, rate, and review if you're able to. And as we publish new episodes, they'll pop in your feed there for you. All show information, videos on our YouTube channel at Came From GenX, Facebook page, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Two main places. Our Linktree account is Google Linktree. It came from GenX, and it's simply a page with links to our stuff. Very simple. And our website, it came from GenX, one word, .wordpress, also one word, .com. It came from GenX.wordpress.com. All show information's there. Links to episodes, links to where you can listen to us, links to videos, promos, bios, and if you are so inclined to get Keith a chiropractic visit, or something like that, you may sponsor the show there through our Patreon account, patreon.com/it came from GenX. One-time donation or subscribe
or
if you want to. You don't have to.
Whatever.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That'll be a show in itself. So if you like our stuff, we appreciate it. Give us a like, share, subscribe, follow. We appreciate your support out there. It means more than you know. Thank you very much.
Thanks, So the skin bone is gone. So we're going to pull up the slack a little bit with a little bit of news, man. Start us off, Fish.
Yeah, just had we kind of a crazy news story that's got some national attention here. We're not getting into the heavy stuff on this show. I mean, there's a lot going on with, we know the war and the Supreme Court and women's rights. There's all kinds of things out there that a lot of shows are weighing in on, and we care about those things, but it's just not really our wheelhouse here. So, we recognize that all that is definitely happening, but this is kind of just a crazy story. So, Alabama. So these two people happen to have the last name, but they're not related. So Vicky White was a corrections officer, 56 years of age, and Casey White, 38 years of age, was an inmate. This corrections officer was, nearing retirement, pension, the whole bit, well respected, and they just all of a sudden disappears with this inmate. And turns out they had this whole elaborate plan. They had cash, they had vehicles, and they've been on the run here for a little bit. And they were just caught today. So today is Monday, May the 9th, where we're shooting this. So, car crash, a high-speed chase. She did.
Hold on. Let's be clear for a minute, Fish.
Go ahead.
This
Yep.
was an escaped inmate, right? Escape.
Yes.
Okay, so they escaped.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So it's just, all signs point to she helped him escape, and they just went on the run together. This guy has a long criminal record for many years. Uh, she did, there was a self-inflicted gun wound today. She's alive. Okay, so it looks like after maybe they crashed, she was going to get caught or something. She shot herself, but
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, so just she is alive. Like I said, it's just a crazy. So I trying to see how long this has been going on. It's at least a week or so that this has been happening, I believe. So yeah, and
Unreal.
just like one of the more crazier news stories I've seen in quite some time. It's just, and you feel for this poor lady because I'm sure, it all smells like, he just definitely obviously took advantage of this lady. Who knows what was promised or said or whatever it is, but just throws away her reputation, her pension, her
And what was
her
her position
career.
again?
She was a corrections officer at this
Okay.
jail where this guy was. So obviously they
Okay.
connected there, and you know things happen, and they made this plan. So yeah, it just made me go back and reflect on some. We've had a few of these stories in our time. Certainly, I mean, obviously the OJ chase was not really a high speed chase or anything like that, but it was one of the more crazier stories of our
Right.
time. But I don't know, just crazy, nuts.
Well,
So
I tell you what,
any
Fish.
thoughts on this? Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's talk about this one directly. Um, you were saying, you kind of feel bad for her, you might take advantage of her. I'm gonna go just tell you what I know. Okay. My minor is in criminal justice.
That's
Okay.
right. Yep.
One thing I learned from you know school tours or whatever visits, what have you, corrections officers are no joke. It takes a certain mentality to do
Sure.
that job, unlike any other. You can't even imagine what they have to put up with, the level of awareness that they have to have. Um, I'm hard pressed to say that she was taken advantage of. I don't know, but I just would be hard pressed to believe that,
Very well
knowing what
could
I
be.
know about what it
Hmm.
takes to be a corrections officer. It
Hmm.
ain't like, you slip by or something like that, or they let, a couple of people that might not be qualified because of a status quo. No, you got to be on that level. So I just have a hard time seeing that. What I do see a lot, and I don't understand it, is this fascination that women have with inmates, with the incarcerated.
Yeah,
There's a whole show about it. I don't know if you've seen a reality show about it.
I haven't.
Yeah, there's a whole reality show about women dating men who are locked up. And it's one after the other. That's their thing. Oh, I like tall girls. I like white girls. I like black girls. I like blonde girls. Hey, I like girls with webbed feet. No, this is about women who like inmates. I don't know if it's because they know where they are at night. I don't I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what.
you would know that. Sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
or they feel needed, because there's a certain way a guy acts when he's locked up towards a woman. He ain't gonna act when he's out, because
Hmm.
she's, taking care of him, little money in the commissary, the love letters, the dirty letters, all this other stuff, and you get this certain kind of dependency, this fake love. So I don't know. I understand it from the guy's point of view, but I don't understand about the women. So there's this niche out there for guys that are locked up, and she's not the first corrections officer to have fallen for this. It's happened on both ways. Uh, I just don't understand why somebody so close to retirement and being set would risk everything for a loser. That's the part that gets me. That could have been better planned. This is just an incredible story, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm sure we'll see more of this come out because, like I said, it just all is sort of the facts right now, and sooner or later, someone's gonna get a hold of her or something, probably, and interview her. We'll see, but yeah, definitely a crazy eye catching story this week. So that's all I got in the world news beyond the heavy stuff today,
That's good
my
enough,
friend.
dude.
Yeah.
culture. So let's
Yes.
get to some music. All right. Okay, so the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees
Yes.
is done with this year, and interesting list for a lot of different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the about times,
Yep.
you got the no thank yous, you got the what the hex, and you got the who is that. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some of the inductees on here.
Sure.
Certainly a Gen X feel on them. People from We Grow Up, some from the MTV era and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And the first one on the list, someone who we were listening to down in Kentucky. Just two of the most talented people, the most underrated people in music. Definitely the most underrated guitar player, I think, in music. I think he's a brilliant songwriter and a brilliant player. And that's Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. I think just
Yeah.
the greatest songwriters of our generation in the rock era. I am just floored that they are in. Finally, should have been happen. Uh, I like her the moment I heard her. I was a kid and just grew up just loving everything that they pretty much done. I hated that little moment in her career when MTV tried to turn her into a pop princess. And I'm glad that didn't last forever. She just got back to being a rock and roller. Remember she went
Mm-hmm.
from, the spandex suits and the boots. And all of a sudden they got her in the stupid makeup outfits and the drummers playing electronic drums and all that little pop crap. But they're rock stars, man. True and true. Pat Benatar fan?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've talked about her many times on this show here. So the first female video artist video on
Yes.
MTV. The second video ever played was Pat Benatar. Hey, you look at this entire class, by the way. Think of this as a definitive MTV '80s video class. Tons and tons of
Lots of them. Yeah. We got lots
yes
of them
of
back here.
excellent
Yeah.
songs and videos came from this class here. But yeah, she's terrific. I said I saw her years ago, and both of them just
Never got to see her, Fish.
yeah. You know what? They're coming, Keith, locally to the Goodyear Theater in
Stop
the
it.
Akron. Yes, in the Akron area this
Please make sure
summer.
you keep me abreast of that. It got to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, this summer. So yeah, that definitely would be a good one. Good one to go
Excellent.
check out here. But yeah,
Okay.
like you say, super talented and
Yeah.
happily married couple for many years.
Yeah. That's the beautiful part about it. Now, we talked about MTV, Fish. I don't think there's any other group that reeks of MTV than the great Duran Duran.
Yes,
Just decades and decades. Incredible music. Their story is something else. The things they've been through, the lineup changes, the whatever. But to be put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they are certainly deserving of it. They ruled MTV for a while. They have some of the most iconic videos we can ever remember. Hungry Like the Wolf, The Reflex, and it goes on and on and on. Duran Duran.
I love Duran Duran. Even back then, it's just like at first glance, it's like these guys are kind of pretty boys or whatever it is. But I tell you what, musically, so top to bottom, one of the most talented bands
Unbelievable.
that came
Yes.
out of the '80s, top to bottom. Simon Le Bon's a great voice. They have some new music that's out there as well. And like I said, the videos and everything is fun. And as a dude, you first, like I said, you're young, get rid of these pretty boys and all that.
Right.
But as soon as you listen and watch and pay
Yeah.
attention to
And they
them, it's
really
like these
developed. They
guys
they
are
were a
good.
combination of rock and they
Yeah.
had a lot of soul and R&B in their music too, man. One of my favorite bass players, Nick, he was just amazing. I love that band, loved everything they've ever done. Okay, so now this is gonna sound strange coming out of my mouth. I'm not saying he's not deserving of it. I said this is gonna sound strange coming out of my mouth. Eminem.
Okay.
It seems like yesterday he just came out. I remember when he came out.
Hmm.
Um, and we kind of thought maybe it was I did like a novelty act. Even though his first hit was kind of catchy, I thought he was going to be a novelty. I had no idea he would dominate like he has. Now, I'm going to tell you personally, far as rap skills, he's one of my favorites. I think his
Sure.
skill is undeniable. I think he's amazing. I used to think he had one of the better skills out there until I found out there are some rappers out there that are equally as good, if not better, but just don't get the airplay and the notoriety that he does. I think a lot of that being a white guy has played to his favor and
Mhm.
being unique, and that's fine. But I do recognize he's an amazing writer. Uh, he has a couple of songs out there that are iconic, kind of anthem rocks. Of course, "Lose Yourself" is one of the most motivated music, sports anthems we have out there. It's just weird hearing his name with such icons when I can remember being an adult and hearing him come out. Really weird. But do you think he's deserving?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a super modern rap fan per se, okay, but every song I hear of his, I'm like, I guess you can't deny the fact the guy is great
Right, right,
at what
right.
he does, and he definitely helped keep that style of music alive. Of course, many guys did, obviously, but into modern times for sure. So, yeah, I mean, he's
Okay.
definitely deserved.
Now these fish are in the performance categories, the ones we're naming so far, and we got four more names to go.
Hmm.
And these next four names, I got to tell you, put these under. I can't believe they weren't already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
You talk about MTV legends. How about the Eurythmics?
Yeah.
Are you serious right now?
Annie Lennox, man, her voice again, one of the best in the '80s,
Ever?
hands
The best
down.
ever.
Yes, yes, yeah,
I can't believe they're not already in there. And then of course this one is mind blowing because he dominated the world in a group and as a single artist, and that's the great Lionel Richie. All the songs
yeah,
he's written for other artists. Are you kidding me?
yeah. It is interesting that it took so long. Is he just now eligible
I
since his
don't know.
first? It can't
No,
be
man,
right
he was
though.
out. He was out
No,
in
you're
the
right. He's been out
'70s
longer.
with the Commodores,
Yeah, this is
and then
so.
the
But yeah,
'80s as a solo artist. I mean, come
yeah, he's
on,
definitely
man.
been around more than 25 years as
Yeah,
a
I
solo
don't
artist. You're right.
understand this. You got to
I
explain this to me. This guy is so loved. He got recognition on the Country Music Awards show.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That shows his influence. And they were doing his songs, different ones, Tim McGraw and whatever. I believe Tim McGraw's his cousin. And you would the whole audience was singing words to every single song, man. It was amazing. That shows how
They,
influential he is.
Yeah, he wrote some huge hits, like you say, for a lot of artists. Kenny
Yeah, not to
Rogers, and
mention his
there's
own
many.
guy. Right.
Yeah,
Now,
and his
good.
style, it's not something I really loved, just
Mm-hmm.
from a lighter rock perspective. But
Mm-hmm.
again, you can't deny the fact that they're catchy songs. He sings his
Oh,
ass
you
off,
can't deny it. And I
and
love
he's
him. Yeah, I
super
love him.
talented. And he's great on
Absolutely.
American Idol for
Yeah,
that
he's
matter.
great on
So
there. Now, this next one, I'm not like what you call a huge fan, but geez, Carly Simon.
yeah,
She's been around for what, 60 years or something? I mean,
definitely one of
yeah,
the female vocalists of the '70s. That's for
yes, for
sure.
sure. Now, I say this last one because I said there in the beginning there were some interesting categories. We got the about times and the who is that. This one is the one that I said is no thank you. The great Dolly Parton,
Yeah.
who not only is she under the no thank you category, we'll explain in a second, but she's definitely under. Are you kidding me? This woman is a legend unto herself. I
Yeah.
mean, Dolly Parton. I don't know what else to say about that. Dolly Parton, and she's just now being put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But Dolly denied it. Fish.
Yeah, first she said that just she's not a rock and roll artist,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't want to have people voting for her and have others more deserved, in her opinion, as a rock and roll artist get into the Hall of Fame. She didn't want to prevent anybody. And her management team or somebody must have talked to her and basically said, it's not all about rock and roll, it's about just music in
I'm
general. And
glad.
she said, okay, I'll
I'm
accept it if
glad.
they put me in. And yeah,
I'm glad because I respect what she was trying to do, but she was short sighted when she said that. Because
sure.
if this was the first year the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was ever created, and she said that, that would be different. But this has been going on since it's been invented. That
Yeah.
ship has sailed. We all know now it has nothing to do with rock and roll per se as a genre.
Hmm.
It is a music hall of fame. We understand that now. We got to get used to that. Um, they're probably not changing the name anytime soon. Rock and roll is a phrase that was coined. Um, by the great Alan Freed,
Hmm.
and I think it stands for something other than a style of music, and I think that's how they're looking at it. That's the only thing I can think of. So I'm glad she did because she means a lot to so many people. So good for
Yeah,
her.
if you're talking all time female music artists on the Mount Rushmore, Dolly Parton is probably one of those faces on that mount. You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about her Mount Rushmores or
It's
what are you saying, Fish? Be clear.
what I'm saying is, if one was going to build a Mount Rushmore of all time female music artists, so you're going to have
Yep.
four women up on this Mount Rushmore. Their
Mm-hmm.
faces like the presidents, right?
Yes.
Dolly Parton's probably arguably one of those four
Wouldn't get
women
an
on
argument out of
that
me.
mountain.
Would
Yes,
not
that's
get an
what I mean.
argument out of me. Yep.
There you go.
Okay. Now, this is when it gets fun here. Okay. Most excellence, musical excellence award. This is,
Hmm.
I call this the J's because you got Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis,
Yep.
and to my shock, Judas Priest.
Yes, finally.
Now, Judas Priest has been around so long. I, I mean, if you go on YouTube, you want to have some fun. Look up some of the early Judas Priest stuff with the bell bottoms and the long hair and
Oh yeah.
the satin satin robes or they're wearing or something. They didn't know
Hmm.
what to be. KK looked like he was a deep sea fisherman out in Florida, uh, charting boats or something. I mean, it's just fascinating to see where they come from, how long they've been around. A band that totally reinvented themselves.
Yes.
I teach music history to kids, and it's just amazing. One invention changed everything for a lot of bands who reinvented themselves between the 70s and 80s, and Judas Priest being one of those bands. AC/DC was another one. They were more of a blues band. Uh, 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 Black Sabbath as well. But it was the invention of the distortion box. These groups had one sound and one sound only. And the distortion box came around and changed the sound of a guitar, and that was the birth of heavy metal. And a band like Judas Priest, who was wearing unbelievable outfits, said, "Hey,
Hmm.
let's just totally reinvent who we are, change our style." They went from the satin silk shirts to the leather and the spikes and the
Yeah.
the buzz saw guitar. Totally amazing. But you talk about hits, longevity, number of albums. You want to be Mount Rushmore heavy metal? Judas
Yeah.
Priest is on that Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah. I agree with you 100%. Rob Halford himself, as far as all time heavy metal vocalist,
Yes,
without
what I'm.
question,
Yes,
is one of the best ever. Just and there's so many. We all know their hits if you're a fringe heavy metal fan, but if you
yes.
go back and listen to, I mean, as you know and I know, but
Hmm.
they're deep cuts on so many. There's so
Oh
many
yeah.
awesome tracks out there that
Oh my
just never got
gosh.
the radio airplay.
They're some of my
Huge
favorites.
catalog.
Some of my
Yes.
favorites. The ones that never got any airplay.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, now Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Some of you might know them from the Janet Jackson days.
Yep.
They produced her first solo stuff. These two are two of the most iconic producers from back in the day. Lots of hits that they did themselves, that they produced. Um, I think they should have been in there because of their stranglehold on R&B since the '90s. But they're not very well known. Are you familiar with them at all?
Yeah, I weren't they involved in like in the time and
Yes,
Prince and all that
yes,
stuff as well, right?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
They were
came from
in
that
the
whole.
time, right?
Yep, yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I know them from that era, and I knew about their work with Janet Jackson. So yeah, just the stuff they were involved in is terrific stuff for sure.
They wrote 31 top 10 hits.
Wow.
You know how hard it is to write one?
Sure.
31. So, um, pretty amazing. Now, they're not as famous as Morris Day and of course Jerome, because he got his name called out during the songs when they were in the time. But they played keyboards, percussion, stuff like that. Um, but I certainly think they deserve to be in there. Now, who else we got here? We got. Oh, I lost my list here. Rock and roll. Here we go. Performance categories. Those are the only two. Now, early influence award, Terry Belafonte. That's a tough one. Harry Belafonte had one hit that I know of. Dale.
That's right.
Midnight coming, I want to go. And then the rest of it, he was known for acting. So I'm kind of iffy about that one. He's a legend for sure. A Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, I don't know. And Elizabeth Cotton, I don't even know who that is. You familiar with her?
You. Nope.
That call falls under the Who category. Okay. And of course, the other awards or categories, we don't even know what they mean. Did anybody I forget?
I don't think so. I think you hit all the main ones.
Okay. So I know the metal fans will finally be happy to see some of the legends in the metal group finally get some respect. There are many others. Iron Maiden.
Yes.
I mean, if you put Iron Maiden's album sales up against anybody, and they'll be respectable if not dominant. What they've done in the metal world, in the music world. AC/DC, are they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
AC/DC is in there.
I was about to say they gotta be.
They're one of the first. They were one of the first to go in. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, to see Priest get in there is pretty amazing, and happy to hear it. And
we need more of that, John. With more of the heavier.
They need to spread the love out, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They got Kiss in a few years ago. Spread the love around.
Metallica's in there. There's some big ones in there, but they got to get more in there. Like you say, Iron Maiden's definitely deserve it. Many more you could argue.
Many more to go. Okay, so that's it I got for music today. Well, this day of music, just a couple of quick birthdays, man. I want to point out. Tom Peterson's born in 1950 on this day. You're like, who's Tom Peterson? Only reason I mentioned Tom Peterson because he's the bassist for the band Cheap Trick. He's like the one guy nobody ever knows his name. So we want to say happy birthday to Tom Peterson. Cheap Trick, one of the great bands. Hit songs, I Want You to Want Me and The Flame, two of the biggest rock songs in history. Happy birthday to him. And of course, happy birthday to the man, Billy Joel. Billy Joel was born in 1949 on this day, man. He's getting up there. We talked about MTV hits. Just certainly he's one of those guys. Great songs. One of my favorite songs in history of all music, Piano Man, was written by Billy Joel. And happy birthday to him. Billy Joel fan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just one of the greatest. Like I say, the writing, the performing, the singing, like you said, it's one of the best ever.
One of the best ever. All right. Okay, man, let's get on some pop culture, brother.
All right, sir. A couple newer things. Have you seen the new Doctor Strange? You probably haven't had a chance to see the Doctor Strange yet, Keith?
No, I was on my way to Kentucky when it came out. Haven't had a chance to. I would have went tonight, but I had to do some stupid radio show. So I just found out I'm not working tomorrow. They called off, so I think I might go see it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it. No spoilers here, but
I do want to know what you think, though.
I'm a Sam Raimi fan anyway.
Okay. I was told it was Sam Raimi-ish.
Oh, yes.
But I don't know if I'm going to like it.
Not even ish. It is a Sam Raimi movie. So, he did direct the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. So there wasn't a lot of weird elements in that one. It was more of a traditional Spider-Man story. But, Sam Raimi, you may not know, but if you're a fan, you definitely know he directed the Evil Dead movies.
Dead, right.
Drag Me to Hell.
I'm not a fan of any of those movies. I wonder if I'm going to like this movie.
I love it because it's a lot of those are kind of we got into his groove. He was doing horror with some comedy in there. So there's definitely some violence and stuff, but it's campy horror where he really started to make a name for himself. And Bruce Campbell, the actor, he has him in
he's in a couple of them, right?
All his movies, at least, is in a cameo. And Bruce Campbell, with not to disappoint, does make a cameo in this movie as well. So
that's funny. So how would
yeah,
you describe this movie?
it's what people are saying, and that is that they took the Doctor Strange character, which is
Mm-hmm.
already kind of a strange, weird character to begin with the sorcery and everything else, and they made this movie like a horror theme. There's a lot of horror themed elements in this movie. Okay.
Wow.
There was a big storyline in the Marvel comics where Wanda succumbed to her darker self. It became
Right.
more the
Right.
Scarlet Witch because she went crazy because she was trying to uh, uh, you know no, it was all around her kids. I don't know the exact storyline
Right.
how it went down basically, but it's a similar theme to where her kids were
She
manifested with
recreated
the
her
vision.
life. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So that was a big storyline in the comics for some time where Wanda was a villain. Okay, and they definitely were influenced by that storyline in this movie. So it picks up from the WandaVision series.
Okay.
So it's basically it just picks right up from there. It has some tie-ins to the Marvel series that's
Mm-hmm.
out there. So Loki helped set up the multiverse. There's references to the What If animated series, even. I won't tell you what.
Okay.
There's a few scenes, Keith, when you get into this here, that you are going to flip out where I was like,
Oh
oh
man, I
my
can't wait.
God, to see some of these characters that
Right.
they bring in.
We talk
Yeah,
about how cool Marvel is and how great they are at doing something. And I'm hearing you
yeah,
talk about how they take off where WandaVision left off. Here this is as a Doctor Strange movie, but they
right.
pick up off WandaVision. Marvel is so great at throwing this fist out here, but then hitting you with
Yes.
that one, man. I love that. I love that
Yeah,
about them, and they keep all their characters fresh. Hey, this is about this, but we're gonna pivot off of this. I think that's awesome.
absolutely. And you see it in the trailer. It's not a spoiler, but one thing about zombie Doctor Strange, there you have it. So you will
Yeah,
see a
I saw that.
zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of fun. If you just don't like horror movies at all, there's still a lot of entertainment in this movie. Don't get me wrong, but definitely if you are a horror or Sam Raimi fan, you will definitely like it that much
Okay.
more.
Well, we'll
So I
certainly
think
be
this
talking
character
about
they
it because
could
I'll
do
be
that
seeing
with.
it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you, man. All right.
absolutely. All right. I also finished off. No, again, no spoilers here, but the Ozark final episodes dropped. I've watched all seven. We'll talk more about it when people have a chance
God, I
to
got to catch
absorb
up.
it. But it did not disappoint. The ending, again, I'm not going to spoil it,
Really
but the
good.
the
Good.
ending definitely made me sit back and reflect. Like, wow,
Okay.
it was
Well, I can't wait for us to talk about this.
yeah.
I got to catch up. I'm in season one still. I'm new to the show. Uh, right now, I'm doing the Ozark and redoing for the first time since it ended Game of Thrones. Really
Oh,
excited. My sister never watched Game of Thrones. Got tired of hearing my nephew and I talk about it, and she said, "You know what would be great if you would watch it with me and kind of tell me what's going on."
hmm
And stop and give commentary, whatever. And that's been really fun for me. And I've been catching things I didn't even catch the first time. So just doing that because really I want to be reacquainted with it because House of Dragons starts in a
oh
couple of
yes,
months.
that's right. The
So
prequel.
yeah, so I'm trying to do that in the Ozark, get caught up so we can talk more about it.
Okay, very good. Okay, we did have another unfortunate, significant passing in the world of comic book artists. So last week we talked about Neil Adams passed away, who was huge in the Batman world, especially in his time. He also drew for other comics. So we can go back and listen to our last episode there to listen more about Mr. Adams. George Perez passed away, age 67. The poor man had a battle with pancreatic
Mm,
cancer. Uh, Again, I did not know his name, but
right.
another one. When I go back and look at his stuff and I see what he was doing, I recognize the style right away.
Yeah, I
The
saw
covers.
same here. When you said the name, I didn't know. As soon as I
Mhm.
saw the style, absolutely.
He drew some iconic storylines like the Infinity Gauntlet in Marvel in the 80s, which was the inspiration for the Avengers movies, the whole Thanos Gauntlet storyline. He co-created the Teen Titans in 1980, and we know the Teen Titans is still huge in the pop culture and comic world today with animated shows and live series on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And when Wonder Woman in the 80s kind of rebooted, they brought her back into her Greek mythology roots, and
Yeah.
he drew her then and kind of modernized her. And then his style of Wonder Woman is what influenced the director of the Wonder Woman movies today. So the costume, the more modern, sleek looking Wonder Woman that
Yeah.
you see in the
Which is
movies.
so important.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
Fish, we could do a whole show or at least a whole segment on the importance of, Marvel, DC getting the right person to draw and ink these characters, especially at a
Right.
certain time in history. Sometimes they need to be recreated, reinvented, or just updated. It is so important. And we talked about some of the great ones we've seen. Some have passed. Some of my favorites that are still around, like Jim Lee, famous
Hmm.
for some of his Marvel stuff. And the great Rick Magyar actually is a friend of mine. I know him. He did my old band Shadow Play in comic book form
Oh,
years
very
ago.
good.
One of our best posters. So such a huge, important responsibility because it pins that character for years to come. You're sitting here
Yeah.
telling me how influential he was to the look of this character today.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're not that familiar with George Perez, look him up. Check out his covers and his work. If you're a comic book artist or comic book fan, excuse me, you will definitely enjoy his stuff. Uh,
Awesome.
so we did have some better news. So this is exciting news. Actually, now it involves a brand new rock and roll Hall of Fame performer, Keith Dolly Parton.
Hmm.
Exciting stuff. She just announced that she will be starring in a TikTok. This is a sign of the times right here. She'll be starring in a TikTok musical to celebrate the return of the Taco Bell Mexican pizza. So the Mexican pizza, you may know, was removed from the Taco Bell menu. Now, me personally, that was one of my favorite. That was one of my go-to meals. I didn't go to Taco Bell a ton these days, but I tell you what, it was a high chance when I went that Mexican pizza combo was going to be purchased. They took it off the menu during COVID, probably for I think they probably had to slim down their selections for many reasons,
Okay.
supplies, who knows. But it's returning. It's a whole huge marketing campaign. And like I said, it's
Dolly
exclusive to
Parton.
TikTok. Dolly Parton will be singing whatever they're going to do with these
I
videos to
I don't
celebrate
have any.
the
I have
Mexican
nothing
pizza.
to say. I am just lost right now. First of all, this is gonna blow your mind. I don't remember the Mexican pizza. Second
Oh my
of
goodness.
all the artists, and I feel weird saying this, we're just sitting here giving all this love to Dolly Parton 20 minutes ago. But of all the artists, Dolly Parton for TikTok, stop it. I can't. I don't. I got nothing.
Hey, at the end of the day, money talks.
Money talks, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I mean, that lady doesn't need two more cents probably to her name but she's just doing it for exposure and money and everything else that people do those type of things for. So yes, indeed, TikTok musical. That's the age we're living in. TikTok musicals. We're gonna make a
That's
TikTok musical. I like it. It's gonna be you and I starring. We're gonna be talking about how we perform weddings, and Skinner isn't something like that.
I might
Yep.
like TikTok a little better for that. I had TikTok on my phone, and I would say I'm gonna get on TikTok for 5 minutes,
Uh-huh.
and hour late, 10 minutes later, I'm still on
Yes.
TikTok, and I realize why it's called TikTok now because you're sitting there wasting stupid time in your life.
Easy to
So
do.
I deleted the app off my phone for months. Now I put it back on, and I made a great discovery that I didn't realize the first time around. There's a search bar on TikTok, and you can put in what content you want to see.
Okay.
So, I like putting in health tips.
Sure.
You get some remarkable information, which I suggest you research afterwards. Don't just take it, because somebody on TikTok told you,
Good
"Hey,
advice.
drink this," and you'll be,
Right.
yeah. But a lot of it's really great information, and also I like hearing Kobe Bryant stories. I think he's an amazing work ethic. He was an amazing human
Yep.
being, and I just can't get enough of the Kobe Bean Bryant story. So, uh, wow, go ahead, Dolly.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, someone on TikTok told me if I drink one of these during the episode, it's more entertaining. So that's why I drink it. You know who's good on TikTok as well as Shaq. Look up
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal. Super funny, but there's a lot of clips of his interviews and stuff where
Oh, we watch him all the time. This dude is
he is
brilliant.
super, yes,
He's
super
a
smart.
brilliant
Yeah,
marketer.
yeah,
Shaq is on it, man.
yeah, absolutely. So there definitely is good content
Yeah.
out there. Not sure the Dolly Parton Mexican Pizza musical counts as good content, but it is
I ain't gonna judge
interesting.
nothing before it's
Con-
time. I have to see it first.
there you go. Okay, so looking back in this week in pop culture history, Keith. So again, we're shooting this on May the 9th,
Hmm.
30 years ago today already. The finale of The Golden Girls aired. Okay, so uh, we were talking about it off camera a little bit there, where we weren't sure if they just canceled it or they were able
Yeah.
to end it, and they were definitely able to end it. So they brought in Leslie Nielsen as a love interest for, was it Estelle, the older lady,
It's
the
still
older one?
Getty.
The older lady that that was on the show. So
Oh, the mom. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
mom, the mom.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
brought him in. They got married, I think, on the last episode and a few things.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Okay. There was B. Arthur
yep.
and not Estelle Getty. It was
It was. Let's see. We had Blanche. We had Uncle Lucas. Uncle Lucas was Leslie Nielsen.
right.
So, so Dorothy's B. Arthur. And so they schemed to teach Blanche a lesson by pretending they've hit it off and are getting married. During the elaborate ruse, they decided to wed for real.
Oh, that was
And
Estelle Getty.
Dorothy, yes, okay.
Yeah.
And Dorothy ends up moving out of the foursome's Miami home to live with Lucas in Atlanta. And then she came back or something like that. So that's kind of how they ended it. But they tie it all up. But
Well,
I don't. Go ahead.
yeah, I know what you're going to say because I'm with you because I don't want to accuse them of not promoting this well or having very little fanfare, but I pride myself on watching uh show finales. Even if I don't like the show,
Hmm.
I like finales. I think it's a moment in history. I don't like missing them. I never watched MASH. I didn't like MASH at all. Did not miss that finale. It was one of the greatest things I ever saw.
Yep, that's
To
right.
this day. It didn't get me to start watching MASH. Still haven't watched it, but that finale was one of the best things I ever saw. And when I hear about a show, this is the show finale, not season finale, but show finale. I try to catch it. I didn't know Golden Girls had one.
Yeah, it was on for 7 seasons. I don't remember watching two full episodes. It just wasn't a show that I really gravitated to.
Right.
I mean, young,
My mom loved it.
yeah,
So I've seen my share in time, a few episodes here and there. Blanche was a slut.
yeah.
That I know. And
And those ladies,
it was,
there's been memes about this now too. Those ladies on that show were supposed to be like our ages today.
yeah, and that's something.
That's how they were portrayed, like little old
Wow.
ladies, and they were in their 50s.
Yeah. I
Holy
like the
heck!
show because the mom, she was a mess, man.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I just thought it was interesting. Yesterday, back in 1886, Coca-Cola was created. So,
Oh boy.
uh, yeah, we talked about New Coke a couple episodes ago and what a fiasco that was back in. I think that was in '85.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just caught my eye here. This is let's see tomorrow on tomorrow May the 10th, 1939. Batman made his first comic book appearance. The 27th issue of Detective Comics, and let's see, it's considered by some to be the most valuable comic in print. One sold for over $1 million in 2010. It introduced Batman. by, of course, Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger, as you mentioned him recently as well. So, yeah, I mean, of course, we had a whole episode on the other podcast, Convincing
Yeah.
Idiots. You joined us for, Keith, and we talked about Batman and recognizing all kinds of Batman topics and all that. But yeah, many years ago. I mean, what else to say is there about Batman?
It's fascinating when you think about it. Uh, sometimes you just strike lightning in a bottle. But if you sit back and think, what if the idea came to me to write a character to dress up like a bat? You would think that's not going to catch on. That's stupid. It's campy. It sounds so dumb when you sit back and look at it. But is there any more iconic character? Now I know Superman is huge, but you can't relate to Superman like you can to Batman. He's a real
That's right.
guy,
Right.
and Superman was, he put his glasses on and got insulted as Clark Kent or pushed around on purpose, but you always knew he could deck the guy. But Batman was like the first superhero that had like these real problems, His parents were killed, fighting depression. He's trying to put on this facade as a playboy or whatever. I just think it's just fascinating how this guy just took off like it did. The whole story, the Bat Cave, the Batmobile, the Bat this, the Bat that. It sounds so hokey and corny, yet it's just the coolest thing in the world. We just absolutely love it and can't get enough of it.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like one of the very few superheroes out there that, as we know, doesn't have any superpowers. The
Yeah.
sheer will and determination
Mm-hmm.
and sacrifice to get his intellect
Yes.
to get his body and everything right.
$1 billion don't hurt either, but
That's right. That's right, and that's where we both enjoyed it as we had to reflect on the new Batman movie. It's just
right.
that showing that side of him with
Mm-hmm.
the intellect and the detective skills and the just the violence. Uh, anyway, so uh, congrats to Batman and many more
Yes.
issues. Also tomorrow, 50 years ago, the Hulk debuted with the Hulk #1. So Stan Lee and Jack King Kirby co-created the Incredible Hulk. I mean, for me, one of my favorite Marvel characters, hands
Without
down, is
question. Without
obviously a
question.
very interesting character in the sense of he's not always the Hulk. They've had different,
Right.
as we know, variations of him where he was always the Hulk, but
Mm-hmm.
it was the darker personality of
That lies
the.
within all of us.
That's right. That's right. And they came out of Bruce Banner. He has to battle that demon, and
Mm-hmm.
just a very interesting. So originally, he just kind of turned into the Hulk at night. It was that whole type of thing, and then later, soon they evolved the
Yeah,
character
through
to where
character
when Bruce Banner
development,
gets
right?
angry and
Which was
the
brilliant.
Hulk comes. Yeah, absolutely. So tons of great storylines with the Hulk. Not the it hasn't really took off so much in the movies, but obviously television. He's been great in the
Well, they couldn't get it
Avengers.
right. They
Yeah.
did the Eric Bana movie, which the story was stupid, and the Hulk
Yes.
looked totally animated on there. The haircut was wrong. The green was too bright. And then, of course, the second one with Edward Norton was so much better. It was done really well, actually. But of course, it wasn't until the Avengers movie where they really nailed the Hulk.
Yes.
And certainly Bruce Banner was great, played by you know what I'm talking about, but he does a great job. But
Ruffalo,
anyway,
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark
Yeah.
Ruffalo, yeah, there's a lot of great things about the Hulk that we can all relate to. You go back to the early episodes, the TV show, the campy TV show, and of course the famous line is "Don't make me angry." You wouldn't like me when I was angry. There's a side to all of us that really the Hulk wasn't created. The Hulk was already in him. It's
Yes.
representing something, and I think that's kind of cool. I love the quote in the Age of Ultron movie when they're having the party and Ruffalo's at the bar talking to Black Widow, and she goes, "Oh, waiting for this guy. He's kind of a jerk, but he's kind of cool because he doesn't get into a fight because he'll know he can always win the fight." I thought that was really really cool how she saw him, and of course he doesn't see himself like that. He's scared to get in the fight. Not about winning; it's just about destroying everything, because he had no control. So one of the greatest characters ever about losing control.
Yeah, absolutely. There was just a terrific storyline of the Hulk in the 80s where he lost control. So the Hulk completely took over Bruce Banner at the time, and he was just completely savage. They'd done this off and on for
Yeah,
years, and they banished the Hulk, and they had a whole storyline where you really understood the backstory of Bruce Banner. They went all the way back and showed him as a child, and his
wow,
father was mentally abusive toward him and his mom, and it just that was the start of the just the pent up anger that
right.
he began to formulate as a child that came out as the Hulk.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
what my
kind of
favorite part of
go
the
ahead.
Bill Bixby series was?
What's that?
The ending with the credit, that
Yeah,
haunting music, and him walking the lonely highway.
yeah, really a
Yeah,
tragic character if you
yeah,
think
it was
about it.
very tragic. It was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so long live the Hulk. May he continue to smash for many, many more
Yes.
years. Uh, on the 11th, May the 11th, back in 1997, made a lot of news back then. I remember hearing about it at the time, but uh, chess champion Gary Kasparov
Hmm.
played a famous match. Do you recall?
Was it Big Blue?
Yes.
Yeah,
So deep blue. So
Deep
it
Blue.
was an
Deep
eight.
Blue. Okay.
That's okay. You had it though. You know what you meant. It was a computer. It was
Yeah,
an
he was
IBM
big and
computer.
deep.
Yeah. So it was a whole thing. Can a computer that they programmed to play chess outwit the uh the world champion Gary Kasparov? So
Hmm.
uh let's see here. So he was beaten by the computer. Let's see. Those day I take that back. So it was a 19. Let's see, 19 world champion against. Sorry, the next three games were draws. So he lost, and then he played the next three games to draws. The sixth game lasted only a little over an hour after just 19 moves. So,
Wow.
yep,
That's I remember that when that happened, and I'm looking back now, like back then I would think that computer is only as smart as whoever programmed it.
sure,
Now, when I look at it, if this happened today, first thing you start thinking about is AI. I think that'd be a
right.
little bit more challenging today, yeah,
Oh yeah,
and a little more scary. We talk about art imitating life. One of the scariest things about the Terminator movies is the one term they said: self-awareness. Your computer can get so smart when it becomes self-aware, you're going to have a problem. So I would be scared if that was happening today. If you were having a computer use the AI to think today, would it be able to compute enough that it would become self-aware? That would be my biggest fear if it happened today. Back then, I just thought, listen, whoever programmed this computer, that's who he's playing against. He's not playing against Deep Blue.
right. Yeah, I remember they had a tournament as well. It was like a computer that some of the graded Jeopardy champions played against
Mm.
on one of the tournaments a few years ago, whatever it was. And I think the current guy that's hosting it, Jennings, I think he competed against this computer. I think the
Okay.
computer won, but anyway. Okay, and then on Friday the 13th, back in 2004, another finale aired. Keith, I wonder if you saw this one here. The final episode of Frasier aired
Oh,
in
Frasier.
2004. So 11 seasons. Kelsey Grammer. I did watch Frasier off and on for several episodes. I didn't catch every episode. I don't even know that I really even remember the finale. But
No.
certainly, and you think about, man, I don't know that it's really ever happened up to or since to where you had the iconic Cheers show,
Mm-hmm.
and they announced, hey, we're going to have a spin-off of Frasier, and it's just like, is it really going to work? Damn sure that it did.
Yeah. And listen, it worked as far as the show being successful and longevity, but I didn't think it worked as far as a proper spinoff. I thought Cheers was one of the greatest shows ever. I I was so disappointed in Frasier. I watched a few episodes. Sometimes it was funny, but I thought they really turned the character. Frasier was this quirky psychiatrist, born, kind of maybe a little bit spoon in his mouth, a little bit nerdy, started hanging around some of the quote unquote cool guys and, started coming around and he had that kind of duality going with his
Right.
professional life and the bar life. And then I thought they lost that in the Frasier show, He was all quirkiness, all psychiatry. Yeah, I just totally hated that show. I thought his brother and father was snotty. I didn't like them at all, and I
Yeah.
hated that freaking dog. So I never liked the show, so I didn't know they had a finale.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was a whole different vibe. They had, I think Ted
Totally
Danson
different.
would show up every so often, and
Right.
they would visit, and that was their only really real tie-in to Cheers. It
There were
really,
some of the greatest episodes of Cheers when Frasier was, doing his thing, and I
yeah.
thought if they would have kind of rolled like that, it would have been great.
And I don't know if it's still in development, but there was talk that they're going to bring it back, at least for a limited run.
Wow.
As some of these shows are bringing back for limited runs to,
Okay, I wanted a Cliff
capture the
Clavin spinoff.
nostalgia. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Like a Cliff and Norm doing
Yeah,
something or something
absolutely.
like that. I don't know. Cliff and Norm prank phone call shorts or something like that. That would be good. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what we got in the world of this week in pop culture, sir.
Okay.
We are right at about the top of the
Boy,
hour.
that
Do you have
went
any other?
fast.
It sure did. Do you have any other announcements you want to make, Keith? Anything yet coming up, or
Not
that's your?
too soon, but on June 25th, I'm telling you now, so you get tickets early.
Mm-hmm.
I will be doing a Motown review show, so I'm kind of excited about that. That's going to be June 25th at La Pizzeria. That's at 35. Make sure I can read here. It's at 3656 Dressler Road, Northwest in Canton.
Mm-hmm.
This is a spotlight dinner theater concert. It is a Motor City musical review, a tribute to Motown. I'll be playing drums. Tickets are $39.95. Includes your dinner. Going to be a great show. Um, you can just type in a Motown tribute concert in Facebook and get ticket information. So we'll be announcing that later down the road. We got plenty of time for it, but I know some people are getting tickets now, so wanted to put it out there.
Remind us when that Mixed Nuts show is, Keith,
Yes.
that you're
Oh my
playing at.
gosh, duh.
That's all
Thanks a
right.
lot.
No, yeah.
Well, we just got our new manager, guys. No. Okay. Coming up here in about what? 3 weeks? 3.5 weeks. Mixed Nuts will be at Roma's in Mogador on June 4th. So that's on the first Saturday in June.
Okay.
Starts at 8 o'clock. Come on, check out my band Mixed Nuts. We cover everything. We are the ultimate country, hip hop, rock and roll, heavy metal, dance, ultra jazz, spaz band, and you'll have a good time. You'll hear a
Yeah.
little bit of everything. So at Roma's Pizzeria on Mogador Road in Mogador, Ohio, Saturday, June 4th. Thanks, Vic.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely. If you're in the Akron, Northeast Ohio area, go see them. They are a lot of fun. And Keith,
Thank you, brother.
he plays his ass off. Really, super talented drummer. So go
Thank you, sir.
check them out. Lot of fun. Lot of fun. So okay, and maybe you could ride your bike to that show.
Where can I get a bike?
You might get a bike at RPM Bike Shop.
Oh, yes.
Quality electric bikes. Family business, Carrollton, Ohio. Look them up on Facebook, RPM Bike Shop. All the information's there, contact info, quality electric bikes at an affordable
Quality.
price. And they're going to be in some local showings, but all the information's
Oh,
out there
that's
on their
good.
Facebook page. Yeah. So
They need,
yeah,
they need
check
to be
them
seen
out.
more. Yes.
Absolutely. I saw a guy on an electric bike on the trail the other day, and it was slick. I mean,
That's awesome.
he could pedal if he needed to pedal, and if you need to get that electric charge to give you an extra boost to get you through, if you're tired or some tougher terrain or whatever it is, you hit that
Great idea.
electric.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and yeah. So if you're into that type of thing, you will definitely enjoy a good quality electric bike.
Right. Awesome.
So
Now, Fish,
All right. Yes.
in Skinner's absence,
Mm-hmm.
he sent me a script. He said, you have to close the show for me since I'm not there.
Okay.
And do it like I would do it. So he sent me a script. He said, read it
Okay.
verbatim. So,
All right,
ready?
let's hear it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, that's the end of our show. So thank you for watching this show. Our show will be back next week. We'll do another show. Nicolas Cage did a show one time. It's really good. But thanks for watching the show. See you guys next week.
Yes,
He's gonna kill me.
that was perfect.
Thank you.
That was perfect. I thought I didn't close my eyes. I thought it was Skinner there for a second. Yeah, your listening eyes and watching ears. We appreciate. All right.
Oh, we're dead meat.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. But when he gets his credentials, ministry credentials, then we will not be permitted to.
We love you,
share
brother.
those type
Get
of
back
jokes.
here.
Yeah. Enjoy your time, Skinner. Have fun fishing with the family. It's
Absolutely.
beautiful Carolina. So, absolutely. So, all right. So, for Keith Porter, I'm Brian Fisher. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Tune in again each and every week for new episodes of It Came From Gen X. So, stay strong, Gen X.
Take care, everybody.